Hello, friends. I'm DJ Lance Rock, and I have to say, Rock and Roll Grad School is awesome!
This is Rock and Roll Grad School with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling. Beth can hear them calling, but she won't pick up the phone.
Hey, I wore my Robert Palmer costume today.
You did.
I didn't get a chance to put my hair in a bun, but
Simply irresistible. I know you want to.
you can't see my whole dress. I was going to actually send you a picture if I'd had time, but that would have been creepy if I'd sent you a picture of myself, just me, myself in a dress going, I wore this dress for you because we're not those kind of friends.
Right.
But you would have known the context of it.
You were sneaking Sally through the alley.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, a little too much sun, although.
Really?
That would be my one note.
I'm super pale. I've literally been in the British Isles.
Right, I know that, but you do not look
pale. This is literally my natural skin color. I have no tan left, none.
Well, you literally do not look like you are pale. Or maybe I am just exceedingly pale. I am disgustingly pale.
Perhaps I need to go back to my 90s makeup, which is fascinating when I look at it because it was clearly what they told me at whatever place
right
was. I think I went to Saks to get my makeup done because I clearly could afford makeup at Saks at that age. But I went anyway. And whatever color they told me was so gothically pale. So if I go back and wear that again,
you would look like, yeah, exactly.
I will have the appropriate skin tone. Or maybe it's this beautiful lighting in the
it could be. It very well could be.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, kitties. I'm sorry?
I have no guitar.
Yeah, true. There's time. Time to learn.
Friends. I need friends.
Friends who look like you.
Who look like me.
Yes.
Heaven forbid. For everyone.
Hello, kitties. We are going to have a real good time today. We are talking with Bob Cowsill from the one and only Cowsills. And I'm so disappointed you weren't able to make it because Bob was great. Bob was wonderful. I cut it out of the show, but we talked a little bit about Newport, Rhode Island, their hometown.
Excellent, of course.
Yeah, so we were able to trade names and such.
That's why you're sad I didn't make it, because you love to be able to talk about places that I don't.
Exactly. I just wanted to rub it in.
Right, because my hometowns more than your hometowns.
Right. I suspect we'll be able to get Bob back on the program.
I hope so.
The one thing he mentioned that they haven't confirmed yet, so he hasn't confirmed it yet, even in talking to me off air, is that they are hoping to do Happy Together again next year with friend of the show, Ron Dante.
Is it okay that you just said that in our intro?
Well, I said he hasn't confirmed it. They are hoping to do it. They're hoping to get it all booked.
Okay, but it's okay to say that they're hoping it?
Yes, because they've played it the last 13 years. So they're hoping the relationship continues. But
because if you said it and you're not supposed to say it, then we're never getting him back on the show. And
right. No, it was more of just like, I said, oh, are you guys doing that? He was like, I hope so, and it was that level of like commitment. We should also note Fare Thee Well and Vayas con Dios to Phil Lesh.
Yes.
Of the Grateful Dead. Did you see the Empire State Building on Friday?
I did.
Was lit up. They said it was tie-dye. Lighting up a building, it looks just like a rainbow flag.
Well, but I mean, you got to do what you can do.
One and the same, right?
It works, it all works.
Yes. Yeah, and it's sort of the weekend has been filled with nothing but Box of Rain covers. I saw both Fish bust that out. Goose did. So that's lovely. And it's gotten me listening to Box of Rain a lot more recently. So what do you want me to do?
I mean, hey, we also lost the singer of the Love Boat theme.
You're correct. We did.
We
It's
did.
really it's not a great time of year for this sort of thing.
Well, no, it's not.
Yeah, it's neither
I'm
exciting or new.
really lucky.
Yeah.
It is not, but I wonder if St. Peter said, come aboard. We're
We
expecting.
I would expect nothing less.
I hope so. I hope St. Peter says that to me.
Well, that's your own thing.
Oh, he's gonna say it to you too, because you know we're going together.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Show up screaming at each other.
Yeah.
One of us saying to the other one, I told you that was stupid. The new record is the old record.
I love that sentence. Very good.
Because it came out originally came out very, very limitedly in, was it 94, 95?
No, it was 98.
Oh, 98. Okay.
When we got it out of Hawk, I mean, look, we recorded it in the summer of 1992, but then it's a long story, but we didn't finish it, and it was in Hawk for 6 or 7 years till 98. And during that time, the internet arrived.
Hmm.
And only because of that, honestly, did we say, well, now you can put your own music out. And we liked that album. Okay, we didn't have a record company. We're not going for a record deal. We think we're gonna have some big #1 hit, but you write songs, you record them. Our family's always done that with or without a record label. Okay. So we
Hmm.
just stamped it ourselves, made 3,000 copies of Global, uh, put a shingle out on the internet in the old days, and it was different back then. But we sold them all in 23 different countries, and so we didn't have a big arm behind it that could take that and make it even bigger, and it was over for a lot of reasons. It got killed during the process. That's another story you can read about. But once it ended, it was like it was in Hawk. We just went back to work, and we thought, well, that was a disaster. Not
Well,
musically, not
right.
musically, business wise.
No, because the record, it sounds great. I mean, if you told me you had recorded this last summer and mixed it super quickly and got it out, you could have fooled me. I don't know if
I
it's
agree.
the song
It's a
structure.
unique sound. It's a unique thing that it's a little timeless. We have other music that isn't. You can tell when we did it.
Hmm.
But I kind of agree with you about global. It's kind of global. It's like it just fits. I don't know. I agree with that. And only when other people started mentioning that did I say, they're right about this. Like even you hear you did something a long time ago, and it's even the Rain in the Park and other things stands the test of time, but it's a timepiece. It stamps that
Yeah.
summer of love and all the stuff that goes along with that. Um, so it's really cool to record something that, yeah, we hit our stride in global in the studio as recording artist. Susan was only 36, I think. Um, so it caught us at a time artistically where we would have been anyway. I mean, yeah, we got dropped and we went away and we got hidden a little bit while everyone else kept out there. But we always kept writing and recording. We did do that. Only with us, it's every 10 years. We don't do it all the
Right.
time.
Was this a record that you kind of always felt like we got to get this thing another shot, or were you, as in your siblings, going, man, super unfortunate, love that record, but let's look to the next thing? And you said like it was other
It's
people, but
it's more yeah, it's more that.
mhm,
Um, and look, we have a history of being a little out of step during disco. We were not recording disco. That album's
right.
coming out next year, and that's the late 70s. album, The Cocaine Drain. But so with Global, here we are with Global. And yes, 30 years later, we recorded Rhythm of the World, our last release, which was us again being where we're supposed to be. We wrote songs, let's go in and record them. But now we have Omnivore Recordings. Now we do have a label. And not only do we have a label, but their wheelhouse, their thing is reissues and legacy work, and in addition to new work, but and box sets, and oh, we found a home. And they found Global. They didn't know about Global. That was a little something. Oh, by the way, we did this. We have other music you've never heard, and then wow, this is pretty good. And man, we're thrilled. And no, we never thought ever that this would ever come back and see the light of day. It was done over, and a good job, a job well done. But like a lot of things, it's going to go on the family library shelf and it's not going to go anywhere. And that's okay. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just
Hmm.
means there's a large equation that equals you have a hit or you have a lot of sales. It's just a big equation now to get to that. And so we're not naive, and we're just very happy that even you're talking to us. And yeah, yeah, we're pretty surprised. We're pretty glad though.
And then this was so that there's the whole story of you signing with Dick Clark's touring agency to go out and do a sort of a
Yep,
oldies type thing, and they
yep.
couldn't find a pen. And the three of you or four of you start talking and kind of go, "Well, I've got some stuff." Because this was a lot of these songs were written that you did with your wife. Is that correct?
I had written a few songs and had and recorded, started demoing them because it's what we did and what I did. But Paul, John, and Susan, they were nowhere to be found during that time because we had
Hmm.
gone our separate ways. Now, when Dick Clark asked us to come and see him, this brought us back together, the four of us from our lives. Hey, this is a nice offer. Somebody remembers us. And and we had the meeting with Dick Clark in the office, and it really was that the contract wasn't ready. We had to all take a break, and yes, we went to a restaurant, the four of us, and said, "Do we want to do this?" Because it was good, because it was an attractive offer, because you could make money. Uh, we were young enough to thought, are we going to label ourselves? And like, we have no label. So that wasn't even a concern. It sounded fun, but we did have young children. We did have, we had lives. We couldn't, we, none of us could imagine going home and say, hey, honey, we're going to go on a bus tour for 3 months. Good luck with the kids, get them to school on time now. And, look, this is
Hmm.
crazy, crazy days of family rearing and family raising. Um, but when Dick pushed us to that point where you kind of, all right, this road or that road. And I had the songs, I had the demos, I'd gone in. I had a friend who I worked with, Wendy, her husband was a recording engineer, got me spec time. And we went all everywhere, just getting free time. And I'm putting these tracks down and playing the bass and the guitars and having fun because Paul, Susan, John, they're nowhere around. Now Dick Clark calls, and here we are, and we're about to do that. But I say, hey, I got these songs, and they heard them and said, this is pretty good. Let's do this instead. And it was a good decision. It was going to be a real ride, boy, but it really was a good decision. It was the right thing to do as artists, but you don't know at the time. I mean, we're not trying to be famous again. We just want to record these songs, and we got to in the best way possible. And that's the good news.
With you all coming back together, you said Susan was 36 as you're recording this record. Obviously, there are ins and outs and ups and downs with any band, any group of people. And then when you add siblings to it, obviously the annals of rock history are littered with siblings who don't get along. Did you at all worry about not only were you casting your fate together, saying, we've got these songs we're really proud of and they're super strong, but we're going to do it with these folks, with these people. Was it sort of a like, we're better together, or all right, well, let's cross our fingers and hope it all falls into place?
We're better together. Um, uh, uh, I think everyone is. I thought the Beatles were better together, but we were better together. And with me, it's like I'm in the studio. Yeah, I'm playing bass on it's some good years. Is it any wonder? And she said to me, these are the three songs that kind of kicked it off for us in terms of I got these songs. But I also had demos that they were well on the way. I was using a drum machine, but I'm playing all the instruments, but I didn't want to do that. But that's what I did because it was just me. So
Hmm.
okay, now Dick Clark thing comes up, and now there's four of us again, and the three we all sat and said, yeah, let's do this. We hadn't recorded since 1978. It's now 1992, if you can believe it. And but each of us individually have been artists in our own right through the years. I sang at a pub for 28 years, all the time, every week for 3 nights, 4 hours a night, 28 years, me and my guitar. Susan down in New Orleans, all the time performing, still does. John with the Beach Boys, 24 years drumming and singing with the Beach Boys, and Paul singing. So when we came together, it's not like we'd been sitting around for decades doing absolutely nothing. We were in shape, we
Right.
were young, and we were on top of our bell curve when we met for this. And unbeknownst, we were going to go into this studio, and it's an unknown. We hadn't recorded in 10 years. We're going
Right.
to do it ourselves. We had a producer the last time, Chuck Block, and now the four of us and Robbie on bass and Richard Bosworth, our engineer, the six of us went in, started about 11 in the morning, went to about 7 at night each day for that summer and recorded that album. And it was a wonderful way to record, I have to tell you, because there was no pressure. There's no one in the booth. There's no record company. No one said, well, this has got to be out in 2 weeks. You better get on it. So it was the perfect way to record. We couldn't believe it. Now it's going to end. It's a disaster at the end. But during it, I'm talking about
Right.
everyone should be able to record the way we got to record Global and Rhythm of the World, which is its own story, but same thing. We're very lucky to make those two records. Very lucky.
And I love, like we were talking a little bit before, the sound of them. What I believe, or no, there's what I believe that just the sound of that is so great. And like we said before, so timeless. Is
Yeah.
that, is that something you sit down and go, we want to make sure this doesn't, you mentioned you've got a
No,
disco record coming out, and was
no,
it
you
just
can't.
this
No,
is
you
the
can't
mode you're
pre.
writing in?
Yeah, you can't pre. It's just the writing of the songs and what the songs are going to dictate. You can't premeditate any of this. We didn't know what we were going to do going into that studio because when we recorded Global and Rhythm of the World, we went in each day. We didn't go in with super prearranged, preconceived parts. Global a little more we did because we got to play them live for a while. But arrangement wise, we go in, put the basic track down, and then we start just dressing it up. And it's the recording process, and it's how we did it. We just went in. By the end of the day, we heard it. It was, oh, that's what we were going to do today. I mean, you know what song you're going to work on, but you don't know what. It was wonderful, and these songs came to life, and it was for all the right reasons: the love of the music, the love of the songs, what to do best for the songs, to record the songs. Like I say, we're not looking ahead past the recording of the album. There's nothing out there for us,
Right.
nothing. We're gonna and there wasn't, you know, and there's not even an internet during the recording. We're just alone doing this. It was just so good, and now look what happened. Boy, we did get it out. We packaged it because of the internet. Now, all these years later, it's proving itself once again. And that's a double most unexpected thrill as a group, whether it sells nothing or not. Uh, that anybody says, I heard this and this was good, is like mission accomplished. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that was wonderful to hear that. You don't know in the studio. How could you? You're in a cocoon for 3 months, working every day, and everything's blocked out, and it's you and the songs. And you can't, there's no premeditation. You got to do what's best for the song, at least in the way we did it and the way we record. That's what drove us.
As a songwriter, did it take you a bit to get comfortable with this idea of I'm going to let these go at a certain point and let the rest of the group take over and we're going to all work on it together? Do you see your songs as like almost a frame or a finished house?
I had a good time on the first three songs when John, Paul, and Susan weren't around. and I was an artist in a studio working on my very own songs. I'm playing all the instruments because that's fun to do. And you shouldn't do that. You're going to become homogenous. But after those three, and then we got the others as a songwriter, I knew something because I'm a batch writer. I don't
Mhm.
sit in an office and I'm not going to write you a song, but 16 or 20 are going to come out every 10 years or so. And that's just how it ended up being with me as a pattern. So this batch was here on time and they were pouring out. I mean, there's one song called Far Away. Uh, Far Away on Global took me 15 minutes to write that song. Now we have a song Christmas time that took 11 years. I'm not saying I'm a fast songwriter. It's just songwriters, we believe that parts of songs are out there. They're out there to grab. We're the doorway. Whole songs are out there. We're the doorway. Because when something drops in your lap in 15 minutes, like Far Away, you go, well, what was that all about? And so you work on, and they arrive and you work on them. You might pull in the wrong bridge, even the middle of the song. And oh, it went with that song. And you're just trying to put it all together. And it's quite the process. And once you get in the middle of it, the way we got to with Global and really give songs the attention they deserve, it's one of the greatest recording is one of the greatest processes ever. It's a laboratory. And no, we never paid attention to what was going at the time. It's just this is us. This is what we sound like it. In 98, Global is the Cowsills. In 2022, Global is Rhythm of the World is the Cowsills. And it's still us. It's amazing to
True.
us. Yeah.
I always feel like with when you have those moments of inspiration that, yeah, it took you 10 minutes to come up with the song or 15 minutes to figure out the end of the story, but it took you 5, 10, 15 years to get to those 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like you're
Oh, no.
subconsciously kind of
Yes.
building on that and that thing coming to you.
Absolutely. By the time Far Away is being written, I've written probably 8 songs. And they're pouring out because that's how I do it, right? And they're pouring out and they're coming. And I know, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna finish this, we're gonna get these songs written. And others are coming. And this is just how I write. And always with the melody first. Oh, 100% every song on Global Rhythm of the World, every song arrived as a musical melody. Some of them even are, you can think of arrangements in your head. You don't have a word yet. You don't have words yet. Um, but they come as musical things because they just come to you if you write that way. And other writers to do it that way, they know what I mean. Where there's a melody, it won't leave my head. It won't leave my head. I don't write music. I don't read music. I don't leave a tape deck next to the bed at night because I'm not that writer.
Wow. That's
You know,
that's
I'm
trusting.
yeah, it's just like it just gets in your head and you can't get rid of it. A melody that does that to you if you're a melody guy. And you just roll that thing around. I got melodies now going because I'm just in that mode. I'm too old to like I'm 75 and going, yeah, you melodies, go sing it to someone else, you know. I- anyway, but they arrive, you recognize these melodies and their songs. And you go, all right, here we go. This is great. Just great. It's super thing to have that happen to me. I wish I
I
did
just,
write more.
but yes, but what you've got is enough in many ways. These songs perhaps with this stuff on Global, like the fact that it can last as long as it has and that this can come out now and be something where, again, if you had played it for me, it would have been like, yeah, they did this last year. This Kickstarter, and then they this is great. I feel like artists who work with melodies, and one, I feel like the art of writing a good melody is so underrated. And like pop music, which I love, is the hardest genre to work in because so much of it is melody based. And that is just a beast to try to handle. And the fact that
Melodies,
this is
yeah.
that this seems to be kind of your thing, that you get these ideas and you can really run with them.
It's amazing. And if it's not happening, it's not. If there's no songs in my head as a writer, and I can talk like this because it's a long history of it now. Oh, that was
Sure.
my
Yeah.
pattern. I didn't set out going, look, I'll give you about a big good batch about it every 10 years. Now just leave me alone till look, it just becomes that.
Hmm.
And it's exciting because when you get into that mode and your brain is receptive and okay, I can do this now. Uh whatever that equation is that lets your brain say, you can write songs now. Here's some melodies so that you can do this again. Is a gift. It's a recognizable gift that I recognize as like, these are really good melodies. I don't even take credit for them sometimes because you know what I mean.
Right, of
Everything seems
course.
to be there for you. You can just pick it out of the air sometimes. And other times you're battling with a song and you're just battling. It's there, it's there. You just got to be patient with some of them to make sure the right components come in. And yeah, this is a song. It's not half a song and half of another song. That
Right.
happens. That happens. So in that way, that's a real interesting thing.
How did you get to that point where you had faith, like you said, every 10 years, I'm going to get another batch coming to me? Because I'm assuming you must have gone through, those fallow 9 years where you're going, I hope something comes up. I've got the window open waiting for them to fly in. How do you keep that faith that this will
Yeah.
show up again?
Well, it was never I never spent any time wondering if I'm going to write another song. Okay. It never
Mm,
entered my mind. It really didn't. I wasn't going through dry spells and I never tried to write a song and couldn't because I was never an assigned writer. I mean, I didn't sign with a publishing company. My job is to produce songs for you. You know, I produce songs for the Cowsills, for my family, for myself. It's all inner kind of thing. If people hear them and want to do them, I think that's wonderful. I've had that happen, but you don't pursue it. And if it's your pattern over a number of decades, you don't worry about it because, like I say, no one's breathing down our necks for albums and CDs and where are the Cowsills? There's so much going on. And now there's so much content and there's this genre and that genre. Everything's fractured and there's millionaires with hits and millions of dollars. I don't know them or their hit. And yet there they are. But over here, I do know them. In our day, we each knew everything about each other. I knew the Led Zeppelin fans, they knew the Cowsill fans. We're all on the same radio station, the same TV station. So we're cohesive and we grow up with that cohesiveness. Folk music is all around us. The Beatles are all around us. 60s invasion, it's all coming in. And and we're swept up in that. Okay. And that's what's going to define us is our roots and the band we made with in our family because we needed musicians. And we're on that island and there's no musicians. Yeah, we got brothers though, a lot of them. And
right.
then Susan's gonna come and now we're co-editing and mom, oh my goodness, that was a trip. But in terms of the songs, we're just grateful uh, that we got to make as good of albums that we did, and not one a year. Okay, well, whatever. We were prolific for 5 or 6 years, and we were banging them out three a year, because back then, in the heyday, that's what you did. You
It's a
you went
single
in.
space
You didn't
market.
milk something. You didn't milk something for 3 years. I mean, if you had another album ready, you went in. Hey, you put it
Mm,
2 a year out. So what? That's how it was back then. We were on the front line of all that. And then it settled into big business. And no, you can milk this. You can go on the road for 3 years. And we never got into that. Once we learned we made a good album, meaning our definition of it, and then we
hmm
find out, oh, we come out of the studio, oh, we're out of step. Well, okay, fine. It doesn't mean you didn't make a great album. It just means you're out of step. And we go back to our life, we're okay. We people who do hear it are validating what we felt. Okay, and that's good. That's all you need. You don't need
Yeah.
a million units. We never were looking for that. Yeah, would it have been nice? You darn tootin'. Will it be nice if Global gets some attention and all of a sudden, wow, sure. But if it does, but we're ready with two more pieces of product. That we're just getting our career out there with Omnivore and hoping that you anyone can hang your shingle. You got to fight for the fight is for the attention now. You don't need a record company. You need a good record. And
Yeah.
then you got to get it out. Okay, well, guess what? That's a good record too. So's the one over there. Lord, there's 100 good records today. Now you're really in a fight. So, and there's things working against you, and I think it's very hard for someone to make it today and all of these shows, The Voice, American Idol, America's Good, they all prove the voluminous amount of talent that is out there. Just given the shot. So
Mhm.
you can't walk around thinking you're all special because you made what you think is a great record, but it never went anywhere. It's like, that's the battle, getting it to go somewhere, not making it, because that's what you do. And
Right.
so that part's easy for us, and not easy. It's what we do. It's natural, and we know what to do with our songs.
Global, the new album from the Cowsills, is available November 8th wherever you get your records. For more information, you can find them online, cowsill.com, or at Facebook, facebook.com/the Cowsills.
Rock and Roll Grad School is produced by the Professional Production Company. Please be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, because your impassioned review is just as honest as us standing backstage waiting to come back on for the encore. For more information, you can check out our website, rockandrollgradschool.com. And like everyone else, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Today's show was recorded and produced by Heidi Hegquist and myself from our world headquarters located on the second floor of the professional office building, centrally located downtown. Our reluctant executive producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing executive producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thanks for joining us. Good night, drive safe, and may all your favorite bands stay together.